And there are your front row. 6, Ryoichi Kiyanari, fantastic lap from him. Then it's Michael Rutter, and then Gregorio Lavia. Now, Gregorio Lavia, I can tell you, his ideal lap in qualifying, he mucked up the last sector, probably could have gone quicker. Going to find out if he can now as the lights go. Who's it going to be? Down to turn 1 first. We wait to see who hits Cops first. Oh, look at that, Ryoichi Kiyanari straight across. He has got the starting of that Honda off perfectly. Big, wide open corner, this one, leading up now towards Beckett's, the complex at Beckett's. And you can see John Reynolds fighting for it as well. John Reynolds looking to make a move up the inside on the brakes. It's a Hawk Kawasaki that's in fourth place at the moment. Gregorio Lavia on the front row. I can't remember the last time he qualified on the front row. Don't think it was this championship. He's in third place. Is he? No, he's not. It looks like Leon Haslam who's in third place.
Yeah, he got flyer off the grid there, right in behind Rutter, number 2, and Rutter knows he has to go with Keogh and forces a pass into Abbey.
Have a bit of that. So back wheel up the ground. Can he pull it down? Just about. I'll tell you what, he did that, just a blocking manoeuvre as well. He had the rear wheel up in the air, and Michael Rutter showing his class and something that rhymes with it to Ryoichi Kiyanari. Kiyanari coming back if he can.
And showing his determination, and that's exactly what Michael Rutter needs to do, because Kiyanari's been out Haslam up the inside into Priory.
Great stuff, and this is what Kiyanari is not used to. He's not used to being beaten up or raced all over.
Doesn't like being duffed up in the opening lap, and that's where he struggled in previous races. If he gets away at front and gets a gap, then he's difficult to deal with, but Michael Rutter's doing the business.
Chris Walker said that he wants to see Michael Rutter win this championship if he can, and Michael Rutter is doing it all right at the moment. This is this horrible little chicane that nobody likes at all. It's absolutely less than bottom gear. Through it goes. The Honda's drove so well here. Round 1 last year, remember the first time we saw these Fireblades on track. Michael Rutter dominated there, and Michael Rutter actually holds the lap record here at the moment, so we'll be looking for a new lap record if we can. Leon Haslam on the Airways Ducati, still on bike 91 in second place at the moment. Then it's Ryoichi Kiyanari, still in third place on bike number 6. Oh, that's a Vivaldi bike. And he's holding his left wrist like that is a disaster. So Scott Smart, having qualified pretty well, finds himself out of this race on lap 1. We're on lap 2 now of the 22. A long way around this racetrack.
Great to see Michael Rutter out in front here, and Michael reckons he was going to get some new Michelin tyres that would give him a bit more front fuel, plant the front of that HM Plant Honda, so maybe that's just what's happened. And you can see Lavia having a look down the inside of Kiyanari. Lavia in fourth place, looking down the inside of Kiyanari into Abbey. I wonder if he made that pass.
We're looking at his teammate on the Airways Ducati. That's Leon Haslam in second place at the moment. Third place was Keogh, and it's still Keogh, and it's Gregorio that's obviously got his nose chopped off because he's dropped a little bit back in fourth place at the moment. Dean Thomas in 5th place, having a good ride on the Hawk Kawasaki. John Reynolds on the Rizla Suzuki, but still leading HM Plant Honda. And that is Michael Rutter.
I talked to Michael Rutter yesterday, and he just wants to quit because Kiyanari's so fast. But I reckon that's just his own way of motivating himself, because there's no way he's giving up.
So I've just had a report that Sean Emmett went off with Scott Smart. So Scott Smart and the recovering from injury, Sean Emmett on the Virgin Mobile Yamaha is off as well. So a bit of a shenanigans lower down in the field. We start lap 3. Rutter leads, but I can tell you, Leon Haslam is closing in.
Well, Sean Emmett qualified on the 4th row, Scott Smart on the 2nd row, so Sean Emmett must have been up there.
Either that or Scott Smart didn't make the charge that he would have liked from the start. Rutter easing away. Lavia, though, has the fastest lap, 1:27.249. So 1:26.8 is a lap record. That belongs to Michael Rutter. But so far, Greg Lavia, the Spaniard, has the fastest lap of the race. And there he is, all over Kiyanari.
He really is. He has got some pace there. And the 2 Hawk Kawasaki's, Dean Thomas and Glenn Richards, right behind in 5th and 6th. Oh, Kiyanari's rear wheeling the air there, breaking into Abbey, but Lavia looked much more settled on that Airwaves Ducati.
Well, the Honda seems to have a lot of weight up front, that's for sure, because we saw Rutter there. That was Abbey, of course, the hairpin at Abbey. Now we are under Bridge Corner, my favourite corner on the track. So fast as it sweeps into the complex.
And a great corner to ride through. Really exciting, gives you a real impression of speed, and a great corner to watch at as well.
Through Priory, now we're onto Brooklands Corner. And in front of the complex, the grandstands are full in the complex. And where is Gregorio Lavia? There he is, and it's the 2 Hawk Kawasaki's now of Thomas and Richards. Lavia, 1:27.2 was his lap time last time round. I think we're going to see that shattered again as we come through the chicane here at Woodcote. Used to be a damn near 5th gear corner, this one.
Yeah, it used to be one of the best corners in the country. A little bit different now. You see Lavia pulling off a tear of visor there, coming up to final chicane.
Reynolds is still there on the Rizla Suzuki in 7th place behind the 2 Hawk Kawasaki's at number 12, Dean Thomas, and 75, Glenn Richards. Ryoichi Kianari, 127.1. Didn't take a lot of predicting, really, did it?
Well, Kianari just finding his feet, getting settled down now, and he can maybe make inroads into Leon Haslam. But these two Airwaves Ducatis, of course, on the Dunlops. Dunlop have done a lot of testing after the last round at Snetterton and really come up with some good rubber, so hopefully they can match the pace of the Michelins. It's all about side grip round here. The bikes are on their side for a long time, especially in through the complex section, and it's towards the end of the race. It's really important to have good side grip, so hopefully the Dunlops can match the Michelins.
I was doing a bit of a Julian Ryder earlier on in the day, wandering along pit lane, checking out tyres. You know, he used to do quite a lot of that. And the tri-compounds that they now have, the middle compound different from the two edge compounds, is very distinct now on all of these motorcycles. You can actually see where it all is.
Yeah, it's no secret. It was quite secretive when they both, funnily enough, both about the same time started developing the triple compound rear tyres, which of course allows you to run a softer compound on one side, and if you've just got a few left-handers like you have around this track, then you can get the grip you want in the opening laps.
Now we're getting reports that Scott Smart might have broken a collarbone in that injury. Here's Sean Emmett walking back. Thankfully, Sean, he really didn't deserve any more injury from that testing accident he had right at the beginning of the year at Brands Hatch. It's niggled him all the way through the early part of the series, and it'd be good to see him get a few results in the last 10 races of the year.
It's great to see Sean back, and obviously very fit and on the pace, but unfortunately he's out on lap 1.
So no faster laps from your top boys at this particular point, but Dean Thomas in 5th place on the 12 bike. He's still going pretty good. That's the Hawk Kawasaki will come into view any minute now. He's behind Gregorio Lavia. There it is. It's the two Hawk Kawasaki's. One is 12. Oh, and that's a big off from Harris. Harris's bike is laying in the track. There's Bostrom is
Ben
down.
Bostrom.
And that looks like Laverty. Is that Laverty laying down?
That's not Carl Harris there. I think that's Michael Laverty, one of the Stobart Honda riders.
We've got a red flag. We've got a red flag, Neil. So that's
slightly different. Scott Smart is the one guy that is missing from that second row.
You're absolutely right. They're under orders then. Wait for the lights to go out. There they go. So this race is a complete race. Remember, the winner of this race will be the winner. No aggregate times. And look at that. Haslam straight there. Haslam on the Airways Ducati gets the drop at Cops Corner.
Oh, another crash.
Yeah, and that's a biggie right in the middle there.
That Sean Emmett or Tommy Hill?
Might be Tommy Hill.
It's
walks like Tommy Hill. It's a Virgin Mobile Yamaha. No, that's Richard Wren. It looks like Richard Wren's profile. I've got to say, he's a little bit skinnier than Tommy Hill. So sliding in is Tom. If it's 24, it's Richard Wren. It is Richard Wren, I'm sure.
Bit of contact there at the back of the field, and it's a fine line, that corner. That Cops.
It's a shame. He's learning every single race he goes out. Look at this. Rutter has gone in front, and then it's a Hawk Kawasaki of Dean Thomas, that looks like to me, and then Haslam in 3rd place now. So Haslam has gone backwards in the last couple of corners. I don't know what the hell happened to him there, and he's been ridden all over now by Kianari as we go down towards Bridge. Frightening corner. Lovely corner.
Lovely corner, yeah, and Leon Haslam was no way was he going to let Ryoichi Kianari under him there. This is good for Michael Rutter though. Look where Kianari is, back and forth.
And I get a slap on the wrist, so I'm ever so sorry for one of the Aussies in the Hawk Kawasaki team. Glenn Richards it is in 2nd place on bike 75, and not a nicer man could win this race if Glenn Richards can put this together for Stuart Hickins' tightly run team. So Glenn Richards at the chicane at the end of the opening lap of now 19 laps is right in there with a shout. Behind him, 91, Leon Haslam. Then it is 6, Ryoichi Kianari. Then it is the 12 bike, the other Hawk Kawasaki of Dean Thomas. But no doubt about it, there's Troy Corser just watching the pace, and himself, apparently.
And James Hayden there, right behind Dean Thomas on the Rizla Suzuki. The guy that's lost out here is Gregorio Lavia. Look where he is, back down in 7th.
There it is, Rutter, Richards, Haslam, Kianari, Thomas and Hayden as they cross the line. James Hayden, the best of the Rizla Suzukis at the moment, so it's been a bit of a disaster for John Reynolds. He's back in 8th place at the moment behind Gregorio Lavia. Lavia, you quite rightly point out, he's got to do some racing now, and he's got a lot of quick guys to pass. I even got a glimpse there. Oh, here we go, Leon, up the inside of Glenn at Abbey chicane. Is he going to run wide? I'll tell you what, Glenn Richards doesn't need another opportunity to go underneath him, but just wasn't quite able to benefit from that.
Yeah, Leon there did a good job to block Glenn Richards at the Abbey hairpin. Now he can chase after Michael Rutter.
We're on lap 2 of 19. Through the left-hander. That is Priory onto Brooklands. Short dash down. I'll tell you what, Ryoichi Kianari is behind Dean Thomas, and he doesn't want to be there, does he?
He's going
to get Hayden if he ain't careful, and then it's Lavia. So there's a lot of quick guys. This could be beautiful for Michael Rutter to have this guy.
Oh!
tripped up.
Oh,
Down he goes. Well, he'll get back on. I think he'll keep that going, but he's got a whole field that are going to be able to go in front of him. Now, that is a slight mistake, obviously, but the penalty does not fit the crime, I'm afraid.
That's pressure. That's pressure. Keogh didn't make a very good start, and of course he knows he can't let Michael Rutter get away, but he thought underneath Dean Thomas into that final left, and it's not happening.
He almost clipped the rear end of Dean Thomas on the way into that before getting under him and then losing the front. So
it's a fairly innocent slide off.
But I'll tell you what, Michael Rutter now is going to be away with the fairies at the front here. That's, of course, if Leon Haslam lets him. Now then, Michael Rutter will have to rejig his plan, of course, if it's Leon Haslam that's giving him a real hard time, because Rutter needs to score big points, but without running off the track.
Of course, Leon Haslam's going to keep that pressure on. Leon Haslam doesn't want to finish second. He wants to win here. He wants more race wins. And, of course, his nemesis, his teammate, Gregorio Lavia, is normally champing at his rear wheeling, but he's not there at the moment. He's way down in sixth behind James Hayden.
You mentioned nemesis, and there he goes. That was superb, straight underneath Rutter. You mentioned nemesis, both these men.
Yes.
Their teammates are. Oh, great ride from Rutter. Do you know what? I love watching Michael Rutter ride a motorcycle. He is class.
Well, he's so smooth, but he's also aggressive today. I've never seen Michael Rutter being so aggressive and so strong, and he really has got the bit between his teeth this weekend at Silverstone.
Well, I think everybody, they mention in commentary, as we do, that Michael Rutter really does have to beat Ryoichi Kiyanari. Maybe he's come back after a 6-week break, and of course 2 broken collarbones, with a whole load of resolve.
Certainly, well, he's certainly got the beating of him today. There's no question that he was always going to run in front. He's been good through practice, of course. Kiyanari getting pole position, but after that first race start, he was looking strong.
We're on lap 4 of the 19. Michael Rutter leads. Gregorio Lavia is way off at the moment. 91 is Leon Haslam. Then it's 75. Glenn Richards through the flip-flop. James Bucket. Yeah, sorry, go on, Neil.
Yeah, great ride for Glenn Richards. He'd been good all weekend. Unfortunately, slipped off yesterday during qualifying. No injuries. Nipped back, got some fresh leathers on, and he was back out there.
James Buckingham, best of the Superbike Cup team at the moment. Danny Beaumont chasing him round just a 0.3 of a second off the pace. So we look at the front boys. Oh, look at this.
Leon did that last lap. Let's see if he can hold it this time.
He runs out a little wide, but Michael Rutter does exactly the same. Just lets him run in there hot.
Yeah, Michael obviously a little bit slower in there, but he gets the drive out.
Lap 4 of 19. Number 48 is in pit road. That is Nick Med, the last of the qualifiers on that beautifully turned out Kawasaki. He's out of the race.
Dean Thomas hanging on well there. Oh, Gregorio Lavia, saying that Gregorio Lavia now up to 4th position, managed to get past Dean Thomas, chasing after the leaders, and we know how strong a finisher Lavia can be, so he's on a mission. He's got his head down. Just had his fastest lap of the race there. Yeah,
nearly on top of Michael Rutter's lap record. So 1:26.8 is a lap record, 1:26.9 is Lavia.
Well, we know the lap times Gregorio's capable of. Kiyanari at the back.
Kiyanari's stuck in an even faster time. He's gone even quicker. He's under the lap record as far as I can work it out here. He is indeed. Keogh has the new lap record.
Well, I can't see him on our screen at the moment. He's not even on our screen, so that's going to be an interesting one as Lavia goes underneath Glenn Richards going into the Abbey hairpin.
And turns it right across him and blocks his exit. Yeah,
classic textbook pass there, down the inside, stops it at the apex and just blocks on the exit, but Glenn Richards going to hang on there. But Gregorio Lavia, he's certainly looking strong and now chasing after his teammate Leon Haslam.
Rutter leads on bike number 2, 91, Leon Haslam in second place, 75, Glenn Richards. Well, got some work to do because he's just been Lavia'd, and Lavia still looks like a race winner to me.
He certainly does. Lap 5 out of 19, there's a long way to go, and it's all about tyres here. As I mentioned before, on the side of the tyre, a long time here at Silverstone, it really gives the right-hand side of the rear tyre a lot of hammer and a lot of temperature in there. And of course, track temperature up in the mid-30s now, and that's going to play havoc with the tyres. So it really depends on the Dunlops, if they can last the pace, if they can have the consistency and the grip of the Michelins towards the end of the race.
Danny Beaumont now leads the Superbike Cup Chargers. He's gone in front of James Buckingham by a considerable margin. So Danny Beaumont on a JJL Honda. So Honda leading the main Superbike charge and the privateer charge too. But I wonder for how long.
I had a gut feeling when I got here on Friday that the Airways Ducatis were going to be strong. They've been testing well. Both riders have been exceptional at the last few rounds, and Haslam goes for the lead.
Nice, neat, and overrun.
Wide, he's giving it.
Yeah, he's given Gregorio a bit of a go
gained the place
as well.
and then lost 2.
Nothing is going to annoy Haslam more than the mistake, other than the fact that Lavia went through as well.
Well, he was having a go there at Priory on Rutter, so he decided Abbey might be the place. Unfortunately, he's lost it at that time, but can't knock him for having a go, unfortunately. That man, Gregorio Lavia, was right there to take advantage of a situation.
Rutter under a lot of pressure. He'll be thankful it's not pressure from his teammate at this point. Oh, I tell you what, Gregorio, he's quick into there, frighteningly so.
He is. And I think, as far as all the Dunlop runners go, the Ducati might be the bike that works well with the Dunlops. It's just that softer power on the exit of the corners when the tyre's right on its side. Just a bit kinder to the tyre, especially towards the end of the race.
Well, Chris Walker speculated that the Michelin might be better than the Dunlop towards the end of the race. You're saying the opposite. I like that.
Well, I think the combination of the 999 Ducati, the F04 Ducati, and the Dunlop certainly works well. And with the GSE team, the Airways Ducati team being the top team in the championship, Dunlop will certainly be looking after them. And if there is anything out there that might give them a little advantage, they would be getting first choice of these tyres.
Rutter still holds on to that lead. Tell you what, he's good on the brakes into there, and the back end of that motorcycle is just hovering above the tarmac.
There is the Suzuki's having a bit of a mix-up. James Hayden was good there. He was up to 6 at one point, but now Reynolds is 6 and James Hayden's dropped down to 10th.
Those of you that are following the V-Trans Honda boys, John McGuinness has just stepped off at Cops, but he's perfectly okay. So John McGuinness on the Robbie Burns entered V-Trans bike.
Replacing John Laverty, of course. I think John Laverty, Michael Laverty's brother, now in Superstone.
Indeed he is. Woodcote chicane. Gregorio Lavia just taking a bit of a discretionary route through there, just taking it a little easy. I think he's pacing himself now.
He's having a look, he's having a look. He's got time, he's in control, he's got the pace of Michael Rutter. He's set the fastest lap and he can just sit there. He set his own fastest lap. He's just sitting there having a look and then maybe having a look, see where he can make a pass, but also make a pass and make it stick.
I've got the feeling that Lavia is going to be riding pillion with Rutter in a moment. He was running so close through Cops. That's a quick old corner. Nearly 100 mile an hour at the apex. Rutter still holding him off, and then it's still Haslam in 3rd place. Bike 91, but look at this. It's amazing that that guy had no job at the beginning of the year. Gregorio Lavia really has been a revelation in British terms.
Well, he's going to have a job next year, that's for sure. He can pretty much pick which ride he wants in race.
Mistake from Rutter means Lavia goes through.
Wow, it looked nothing there, but just that little bit wide, and Lavia was ready to pounce. Wow.
You've got to say, Lavia, an absolute opportunist. He was in the right place, and there was absolutely no chance that he was ever going to let the opportunity go by.
Well, he was just sitting there, he's very comfortable, into the Abbey hairpin here. Michael Rutter just a little bit hot, misses the apex. Lavia was on the apex.
I think Lavia had gone a little bit wide to square off the apex into that turn, and it benefited that there was no Honda in the way.
Just happened to get a good run through, yeah, it's just perfect. Now Michael Rutter will need to respond, but of course he hasn't got that pressure from his teammate Kianari. He's got a comfortable championship lead. Kianari's not on his rear wheel. Do you think he'll still try and win, or will he sit there and take good points?
Well, at the beginning of this race I would have said no, Rutter will go for the win, but he will now know that Kianari is quite a long way behind him. But of course he can't afford to let Kianari have any points. He's got to maximise it. But look at Gregorio Lavia, he just cleared off.
He's going. Well, Kianari is not even in the top 20, so he's nowhere near the points at the moment. And I'm sure Michael Rutter's pit board will be telling him that.
Yeah, but what an opportunity to take 25 points. He really doesn't want to be beaten by the Spaniard in these circumstances, does he? And probably Haslam as well. Well,
Haslam's not all over yet. Leon Haslam, a few little moments just cost him that lead. He was fighting for the lead only a few laps ago, but Gregorio Lavia not making any mistakes, and as you said, the perfect opportunity just to nip past Michael Rutter, and now he looks like he's in control.
The Superbike Cup battle has been joined by Steve Brogan, so it's Beaumont, Buckingham and Brogan all battling it out. If you can get any more B's in a sentence, let me know.
John Reynolds there in 6th position. He's catching Dean Thomas.
Carl Harris up to 7th place after that big... I tell you what, that guy, does he ride a motorcycle without being beaten up?
He appears not to want to. He's always, if you're right, he's completely fit when he got here, but of course, I saw him fall off on Friday. Admittedly, it was just a greasy racetrack, fell off in the wet at Luffield, but yeah, that was a fairly big one he had at the beginning of race 1, and Carl Harris again beat up for the remainder of the weekend.
Lap 10 of 19 as Gregorio Lavia eases away from the 2nd place man, Michael Rutter on bike number 2 there. Then it is Leon Haslam, bike 91, the 2nd of the Airwaves Ducatis. Haslam hasn't given up on it making a 1-2. Of course, they had a 1-2 earlier on in the year. I think Mondello Park, wasn't it?
Yes.
And that was the first ever 1-2 that Darrell Healy of GSE, who obviously runs this team, ever had in British Championship racing. Surprising
the success they had with Bayliss and Hodge. And number 11, Ben Wilson, down at Luffield, the other Vivaldi rider. So Vivaldi, Kawasaki not having a good day, lost Scott Smart, and now Ben Wilson out.
Lap 10 of 19, through Bridge Corner, onto Priory, the left-hander. This is where the 2 Ducatis look pretty good, although I've got to say, Michael Rutter.
Well, Michael Rutter 0.2 of a second faster on that last lap. Let's see if he can do that in this lap. Of course, just over half distance here.
That battle between the privateers. I can tell you that Danny Beaumont has now come into the pits on the JJL Racing Honda, so he is out of the equation. It's James Buckingham has gone back to the front of that battle, and Steve Brogan is the 2nd in the Privateer Cup race. But as far as the main Bennett's British Superbike race is concerned, Gregorio Lavia leads from number 2, Michael Rutter, who leads the championship by a country mile now that Keogh is so far back.
I just noticed they're coming on the start-finish straight. These 3 riders had completely different lines out of that last corner. Some making it into a big corner and some picking the bike up and trying to get drive. Michael Rutter struggling for grip on his rear Michelin, and 2 Dunlop guys just looking slightly better out of that last turn.
Did you stand at the end there, like I think most of us did at some stage, and listen to the ignition timing on that Honda? They've really virtually detuned. It sounds like a twin-cylinder motorcycle coming out of that chicane, so it just doesn't spin the rear wheel.
Well, at that point, I'm pretty sure it is a twin pulse or twin-cylinder operation. That bottom throttle, when you don't need a lot of power, just a couple of cylinders, just so you can open the throttle quite quickly, and then as the speed increases, then you get maximum power. Certainly the Suzuki's run a similar system, and it works really well in slow corners.
And then just saw that Airwaves Ducati sit down a little bit between them corners and gave that Honda a whole opportunity to get right with him.
Rutter's much closer now, visually closer.
I wonder whether Olivier has a problem.
Well, is this the point
where the Michelin gets better?
The Michelin's still gripping and the Dunlop's not. Last turn again. Lavia picking it up nice and tight. Gaining a little bit of time out of there. Michael Rutter just turning early.
Yeah, but maybe the fact that the Honda isn't putting all that power down on the road and leaping out of that bottom gear corner, the Michelins are being made to last better than the Dunlop.
Yeah, although the Ducati actually pulling away there, the tyre conservation probably better on the Honda, I know what you're saying.
Power management, it's all about power management. Talking of power management, we're joined by Tony Partis from Dorna here in the commentary position. Good afternoon to you, Tony. 36, Gregorio Lavia leads. 2, the HM Plant Honda of Rutter, still being chased hard now by Leon Haslam.
And John Reynolds finally got past Dean Thomas.
That's actually quite a feat.
Yes.
Because Thomas is going well today.
It certainly has been strong all weekend, always qualifies well. There on the 2nd row, but Reynolds managed to finally overhaul him. And I'll just keep an eye on John Reynolds on the Rizzler Suzuki's lap time, see if he can get any closer to Glenn Richards.
Ryoichi Kianari now in the points, he's at 13th place, so he's starting to score points now, and we've still, the best part of 7 laps to go.
Yeah, and the pace he's got, still the fastest lap of the race, 1:26.8, so Kianari can still grab some serious points and maybe even get into single figures.
Well, it's a damage limitation situation for Ryoichi Kianari, having slid off there at the Woodcote chicane. But now it's about Michael Rutter. Well, perhaps not getting on top of Gregorio Lavia, more about keeping Leon Haslam behind him as well.
Interesting battle at the front. Position staying pretty stationary, but quite fascinating. It really will be battle of tyres in the last few laps.
Perhaps they'll be fortunate that it's now a 19-lap race as opposed to a 22-lap one. Look at that, Haslam closing right in there on the brakes.
Haslam going the long way around there, through the flip-flop onto the back straight there.
This is where Haslam will really close in as they come down towards Abbey on the brakes.
Leon was so unlucky because he was there looking for opportunities to get past Michael Rutter. Didn't quite work out, but Levio just got that one. Michael Rutter just ran a little bit wide at Abbey and he was through.
Bridge corner. The Honda looks very settled in the middle of bridge.
Yeah, it's all about grip, isn't it? It's all about these tyres gripping. Ooh,
I have to say, Rutter, he always looks a little wide though, Michael Rutter. He's looked like that on a couple of corners.
A little bit slow in, but fast out. Well. He's running wide, yeah, and you could argue that's a sign of, or lack of grip when your bike starts running wide, a little bit offline, missing apexes. Big black lines there.
He's done that the last couple of times in that particular area. Seems to be happy to be out a little bit wider.
Well, Levia last lap 127.7 and Michael Rutter 128.
Big difference. Yes. 0.3 of a second, it makes all the difference. So Levia just easing away, just a few tenths more than Rutter in second place. Still has them in third. Of course, John Reynolds in fourth place, having deposed now Glenn Richards as well. So John Reynolds, the defending champion,
excellent
well
ride.
and truly on the pace.
Excellent ride for JR.
Glenn Richards on bike 75 in fifth place. Dean Thomas on bike number 12 in sixth place. Seventh is bike number 9, the battered and bruised again, Carl Harris. Gary Mason, bike number 3, Stobart Honda, is in 8th place. 9th is James Hayden on bike 18. And then Tommy Hill up in the top 10 on bike 8. Chianari up to 11th now, so he's moved up from 13th to 11th. There's Chianari, still the fastest man on the racetrack. He's just going to keep plugging at it, isn't he?
He certainly has, just battle away. I'm sure he'll be able to do high 27s if he's not in traffic. That last lap he did was a 128 flat, so he's still matching the times of the leaders, but of course way down there in 11th.
Lap 14 of 19, Airwaves Ducati versus HM Plant Honda. It's about these two manufacturers, it's about these two sets of sponsors, and you have to say it's about the teammates in each team.
Well, of course it is, yeah. And Leon Haslam, just looking at him there, and it just flashed back to Open Park. How aggressive was he with Michael Rutter in the last lap at Open Park? I wonder if we'll see a repeat of that performance.
Well, Darrell Healy may well be watching this at home. He's not here at the trackside today. And how much pleasure will that give him to see Airwaves Ducati 1-2. Their first ever was at Mondello Park. But I tell you what, Rutter is not going to be easy to pass. He just looks like he's got enough pace and enough determination to not give it away to Leon.
4 laps left, and at the moment not close enough to Levia. I don't know if he has got anything left in these closing laps, if he can close that gap, but he's certainly not close enough to make a pass. Levia is beautiful through that section, just hanging off one side of the bike and flipping it up onto the back straight there.
Levia, Rutter, Haslam, you can see those. Richards is back in front of Reynolds again as they cross the line, so John Reynolds is right in the middle of a Hawk Kawasaki battle. He is the Rizzler Blue in front of the Hawk Kawasaki green.
Glenn Richards responds there.
James Buckingham still leads the Superbike Cup, and he's actually 14th overall in the main Bennett's British Superbike race, so he's having another great ride, James Buckingham. Certainly one to make a note of for any of you at home that are regular viewers.
Certainly a rider that deserves to step up to a proper factory team next year.
91, Leon Haslam. I think this race is about what Leon Haslam can do more than anything now. And again, you saw the Honda just sit a little bit there, just spinning a little bit at the rear end as he gassed it into the chicane. And again, you saw Levia sit that bike up, get it on the fat bit, and squirt it down the front straight here.
It's effective, and it's effective. And like Rutter and Levia, I feel Leon's not quite close enough to Michael to sneak past anywhere. He really needs to be on his rear wheel.
Ryoichi Chianari is 11th at the moment. He's closing in on Tommy Hill, but he was 1.8 seconds behind Tommy Hill last time round, and we'll see exactly how far he is behind him. Well, he's 0.3 of a second, so he's taken nearly a second out of Hill on one lap.
Well, Chianari 127.1 on that last lap.
In fact, Hill has gone in front of Hayden.
Wow.
So Tommy Hill has passed Hayden for 9th place now. Tommy Hill on the Virgin Mobile Yamaha has moved in front of James Hayden on the other Rizzler Suzuki. Still Reynolds is in a battle with Richards and Thomas. There's Tommy Hill. Tommy Hill on the Virgin Mobile Yamaha.
Castle Coombe winner, double winner at Castlecombe. Fantastic weekend for Tommy Hill.
Not a bad scalp, of course, being James Hayden. Get him out.
Yeah. James Hayden, I think, just struggling for rear grip this weekend. He had a fantastic testing at Silverstone and was really confident. That's Keanari there. Keanari's not going to hang about.
No, he's going to try and pace Hayden, probably on the run into... No, he's not close enough. I was thinking he might make a run up the inside into Pryor in this next corner, but maybe he's learned something from the Woodchurch chicane. It's going to be the first opportunity to see if he's going to ram it up the inside at the chicane again. Oh, look at that. James Hayden gave it to him. Maybe not.
Well, I think that was the normal line. I think Keanari just trying to turn things a bit tight. I was surprised if Keanari has a go here, because this is where he fell earlier. No, going to save it. I'm sure he can get a drive on to start finish straight here and maybe have a go into turn 1 Cox.
But he really needed to make that pass. We're on lap 17 now, the 19. Will he have enough time to pass Tommy Hill? He's certainly got up the inside of Hayden now.
And there he goes. Millimetres there.
James gives nothing away.
Now Tommy Hill's the next victim.
It's a little boy, by the way. James Hayden's expecting a little boy. Don't go all misty-eyed on me.
No, December 17th, I think, is the date, or certainly middle of December. Joe and James expecting their first baby. I'm sure there's not on his mind at the moment.
Gregorio Lavia still leads this race from Michael Rudder at the front. This is the battle to see how far that man, Ryoichi Keanari on bike number 6, can make his way up through the points. Remember, he crashed at Woodcote Corner, he's remounted, and he's come through from stone last, and at the moment he is up to 10th place. That's beginning to be serious points.
It certainly is. It's certainly, if Michael Rutter knew he was down, I'd be quite surprised the recovery he's made, I'm sure.
Keanari, of course, the new lap record holder. That was done, well, back on lap 6.
Jonathan Ray, he's down there in 13th position, not where we're accustomed to seeing him in the last few laps of the fairly subdued weekend here at Silverstone.
Out of Copse Corner, up towards Beckett's now. Gregorio Lavia with a commanding lead on lap 18. Just a lap and 2/3 to go at this point. Lavia.
Oh, Leon's trying.
Yeah,
Leon's
Rutter.
trying hard.
Oh, he is trying hard. He's right out wide there. Haslam still third on bike 91. That's your race leader. Oh, sounds sweet.
It does sound sweet, and he looks so smooth through that section.
Fireblade versus both 4 Ducatis. The meat in the sandwich is the HM Plant Honda.
They're all bunching up. Rutter's closer to Lavia and Leon's trying to get closer to Rutter.
Well, it's going to be seen on this next, so we've got 1 lap to go in just a couple of 100 yards time. James Buckingham still leads the Superbike Cup from Steve Brogan by a huge margin, so no difficulty for James Buckingham, providing he gets the last lap right to take another 25 points in the Superbike Cup. Yeah, it's all getting a bit hectic. I wonder if Lavia's backing him up.
Well,
what do you think? Gregorio Lavia backs up Michael Rutter into the clutches of Leon Haslam.
no, I don't think so.
Oh, down goes Rutter. Rutter gone down. Rutter's gone down. He's out.
No.
Same place as Keanari. Lost the front end in exactly the same way.
Well, he was trying hard. He was trying so hard to get up close to Lavia.
Haslam's girlfriend. And that is a disaster for Michael Rutter, because Keanari is scoring good points and he will pass Rutter. Rutter is in the dirt. Keanari will score 9th place points.
Maybe 10th. Maybe 8th.
9th place.
Keanari's 8th.
He is, you're right. My mathematics never was any good. My observation clearly not as good either.
Well, so, what a turnaround on the last lap.
Unbelievable. Just as our camera panned, you just saw the front end of that Honda disappear out from underneath.
Well
spotted.
Away. I thought he might, I was hoping he maybe just run wide, but it was a fairly steady race there the last 3 or 4 laps before it's all turned around.
Well, Gregorio Lavia is going to be a winner on the Airwaves Ducati. There's going to be nothing except himself to stop this 25-point win.
Hey, John Reynolds on the rostrum, Carl Harris 4th.
Carl Harris 4th, that is incredible. On the HondaRacing.co.uk Dunlop-backed bike. But no doubt about it, Airwaves Ducati 1-2, their 2nd of the year. Who was it who said that Ducatis would not be the motorcycle this year, would not stand a chance this year?
Lavia's looked so strong all weekend.
Gregorio Olivier then takes race 1. We've had a stoppage, we've had 2 fallers, them being both the HM Plant Honda boys, but no mistake from Gregorio Olivier. Leon has them in 2nd place. John Reynolds will come through to take 3rd place on the Rizza Suzuki Superb, and Carl Harris too will be there in 4th place. Keogh comes over the line. Where will he finish? It will be in 8th place for Keogh. Confirmation, Olivier has them Reynolds. Carl Harris, seems like you've got to beat him up to get a result from him. 4th place, absolutely incredible. Glenn Richards and teammate Dean Thomas 5th and 6th. Gary Mason, the first of the Stobart Hondas, in 7th place. Ryoichi Kianari, after falling at the Woodcote chicane, coming through to 8th place. 9th going to Tommy Hill, James Hayden 10th, 11th Steve Plater on the Hydrax Honda, Jonathan Ray on the Red Bull Honda, Dennis Hobbs on the Nvidia bike there in 13th, Tristan Palmer 14th, Michael Rutter just a point for all his efforts.